Pablo, I have been really looking forward to this chat with you.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Paul, for inviting me over. I hope it's a lot of
But,
fun. Thank you.
well, welcome, welcome. And especially, given today's topic, real help for stressed marketers, I have to say you are looking good. Happy and rested. What's up? You had a great vacation?
Yeah, actually, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I had a very good vacation. Actually, I was in Canada and in the US, mainly Canada, I must say, discovering the new world. So it was great. A lot of fun. Yeah.
Discovering the new world. I love that because that's like such an apt metaphor for what we're going to be talking about today, exploring today. Because you make me think with that word, the new world, this new digital world. I remember when all this started, we got totally excited. Everyone was like, "Oh my God, it's like it's so fantastic." I still call it the Matrix, despite that euphoria, because now I see a lot of very stressed people, and especially my colleagues, marketers. And so my first question would be, too many paradigm shifts, maybe?
Well, yeah. It's that, but there's not only that. I mean, there are so many things going on. There's so many things happening. People have the feeling that they have to catch up all the time with the things that are happening. But the point is that things are happening very quickly. So it makes everyone, feeling a little bit of, anxious about if they are really up to date or not. We live in a world in which data is absolutely critical. Managing all this data is key,
totally.
And the fragmentation of this data and managing all that properly, it becomes critical. Not to be stressed, but we are a little bit. People are.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, how could you avoid it with all that? Because like I just want to say that again. I think a lot of people seeing us or listening to us around the world are shaking their heads like, yeah, that's my reality. Data all over the place, legacy systems, silos, people who don't even understand what a silo is, KPIs but no dashboards. It's like, so this is definitely what's causing stress, right? That's why we have all these stress marketers and salespeople and CEOs, I suppose.
Yes, because at the end of the day, I mean, data is the way for marketeers to really show their performance and the return of these investments. I think that every marketer in the world is investing money from someone else, and they have to prove all the time that this is working. And gathering all this data is not an easy task sometimes, because it's not.
I sorry to interrupt you, but I totally get it. And especially if that data, as we just said, is super fragmented, that chews up so much time. I mean, it's a massive headache. So, kind of thinking ahead, because we have very smart listeners on this podcast, is it just a question of consolidating your data then? You just put them on place?
Yeah, I mean, it's part of the story is that, of course, you have to consolidate all these data. But as I was saying, I mean, there's so many data around in so many places that it has to be in one place. But this has to do also with system and technology that have to sort of be integrated, talk to each other, so that all this data is actually not only in one place, but it's also complete and gives you the complete picture of what is going on and the return of all investments you are doing in different investments you are doing in the digital world. So yeah, it's a tricky situation.
So,
it's not so straightforward.
It reminds me of that Chinese proverb, "May you live in interesting times." I think we're all stressed, but it's also such an interesting stress. So let me add a little more stress to you and everybody listening, because some marketers will totally identify with this. To make things even worse, we have very, very demanding, always on customers. They want it now. They don't understand our stories. AI is changing everything. And then, when we come to Martech and some of these solutions using AI or not, there's so many platforms and offers. Like, who the hell, if you permit that, who the hell has time to then look at all of these, proposals? So, man, Pablo, I'm getting nervous already. I'm feeling nervous just talking about all of this with you. So, do you think you can help us? Maybe you have some secret tips I haven't found out.
I think I'm gonna give it a try. I will do my best, but I think I will help you. Yes, promise.
Well, between the two of us, I think we're off to a really great start. And I have to say one thing, you have me intrigued because earlier you said that you thought this episode was going to help a lot of people get their freedom back. And I just was thinking, wow, that's a tall order, as we say in the US. Is that
Well,
true? You're going to help people get their freedom back?
well, it's true. It's true.
Well, can you tell us why and maybe how? Because, come on, share your secret with us. And that's why we're here, kind of.
Well, the fact is that what's happening is that we lose our freedom when we lose so much time. And that's what is happening to a number of people, to actually to millions of professionals out there. In the previous part one, we talked about a lot of things that happen in a high level, let's say, change of
The
paradigms.
macro stuff.
Yeah, exactly. But there are actually a number of things that we can do and we can manage. It's on us to really change that in a way.
Microsoft. So the Microsoft depends on us. And okay, well, let's keep going. By the way, I thought AI was going to solve all of this.
Well, yeah, that could be a complete, other podcast with you, Paul. Of course, AI is gonna, of course, it's gonna change that. But what I mean is that there are a number of things that are our own responsibility. Having clear and realistic goals, objectives. It's on us. Giving priority to business intelligence. And all in all, simplifying to me is absolutely critical today, and that's on us. That's our own responsibility, really.
Yeah, simplifying. I mean, that reminds me of that famous motto from the U.S. Navy that's quite famous: KISS, keep it simple, stupid. And especially in marketing, we tend to complicate things so much in big organizations, but also in small teams. And I think we stress ourselves out.
Absolutely, exactly. I see that. We see that every day. I guess you do as well. We see it every day, really.
So it depends on us. So, well, why don't we go step by step with what you've just proposed? Your first point was having clear, realistic objectives. So, why would that give us the freedom you're mentioning?
Uh, well, I mean, it's probably some things I will say probably may seem a little bit basic, but to me, this is basic business, and this is the key for pretty much everything. I mean, understand what you need to grow your business. Understand properly, know your most profitable customers, for instance. That is absolutely critical. Set realistic goals, for instance, and of course track them and know what is going on, and act consequently on that. So
Yeah.
going back to that is absolutely the way.
We are so much on the same page, and that bit about knowing your most profitable customers, your best customers, that's one of my pet peeves. One of my criticism of a lot of companies and brands because they don't even know their customers. It's incredible. They're not customer centric. A lot of them say they do. So one thing leads to another. And so, but let's say I know them. I do have clear goals. I track them, and then, well, I guess that leads us right to your second point that you just said earlier, which was to prioritize BI, business intelligence. Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. You learn fast. You learn fast. Well, thank you.
Fast learner. Well, I do my best, Pablo. But seriously, if my data is all over the place and I have to spend hours getting info from different places to track results per reports, that is exhausting.
Absolutely. That's absolutely like that. It's total stress, but the point is totally unnecessary. Um, this is why we need to. It's so important to finish for good with data fragmentation. Have the key information to make decision in one place. This is why it's
Yeah,
so
no,
important.
sorry, I got to step on your toes again, but I'm notorious for interrupting when I get excited, right? But but I would add, yes, it's so key to have data, the correct data, and make the decisions. And I would just add, sorry to interrupt you again, good visualization tools like presented infographically.
Yeah, for sure. That is a game changer for decision makers. Yes, but this is still one of the things that is. I wouldn't say that the biggest mistake, but a big mistake that many marketeers are that's happening with many marketeers, sales directors, and other people that they keep making over time.
And you mean you have something else to talk about us that's causing stress, another stress monster? Oh my God. I was just kind of relaxing now, but I think we're going to need to talk about that in just a minute. Well, we're back, and Pablo, very tricky. You left us with a cliffhanger ending, just like in Netflix. So, what is this big mistake that you hadn't mentioned before that many marketers and others are making?
Well, it wasn't obvious, but it's not. It's not really. The problem is not just trying to have all these data in the same place and consolidating all the digital assets and just not having them. It's a huge headache. I mean, that's obvious. It's also worse. I would say it's worse to have. This is happening with many marketeers, that they have too many partners to work with, and too many partners, too many plugins, too many subscriptions to plans. That's also tricky and a big
Yeah,
mistake.
yeah, but I mean, I with all this technology and these challenges and everything's new, I thought partnerships was a good thing. I thought it was good to have a lot of partners and maybe at least five good friends, and each one, is like a crack, as we say here in Spain, is an expert, a champion of each one of them. Don't we need partners?
Well, I will refer what you said before. Paul, give me a kiss. I don't mean that literally, of course, but give me a kiss. Just a reminder. Keep it simple. Keep it simple, senor. I would say, keep it simple. Definitely.
Oh, senor. Well, very, very elegant. I don't want to cause any problems with your wife, by the way. So, but
Uh,
very elegant. Thanks for calling me senor and not stupid.
yeah. No. No. I would never say that. I would never call you that. Especially with too many people watching us. But what about if we picture all this in a different way? I mean, what about I would like to give you a different painting here. Let's say I would like to name it "You Decide." Do you decide?
Hmm.
That's the key thing.
Hmm.
To leave
Well,
out the
that
stress.
you decide. That's the name of the painting. Okay. Very interesting. Go on. Tell us more. You've got me intrigued again.
No, what about this painting? What would this painting look like? Imagine a unified base for all your data. Just one angle with your KPIs in one place. What about
Okay.
having best of breed software, but at the end of the day, but it is also integrated with each other.
So talking
So all
together.
together,
Uh-huh.
absolutely, already integrated.
Okay.
What about, which is probably the most important thing, if you have the flexibility to choose what you need when you need it? I mean, this is clearly a picture that would change everything. The stress that many of the marketeers are going through, because you get the best of all. I mean, you just deal with one person. You just, instead of needing to deal with too many different tech solutions. The same number of appointments, contract trainings, support services, just
Contracts,
in one
lawyers, all
place.
of that.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah,
Mhm.
I like that painting you're that picture you're painting. As a matter of fact, I kind of just took a breath because we have partners too, and we really handpick them. But I would say one or one partner that really can cover it all, if that's possible, would be better than 5 to 10. But I just have kind of a tricky question. I'm going to be devil's advocate. You're not kind of like moving to starting to sell me something here, are you?
Oh well, I
We
could.
Americans, we're very direct.
Yeah, I love that. Well, I could. Yeah, they could. I mean, we can talk about the details and in a drill down if you want. I actually, you just can send the listeners all the program notes and so that they can check out all the links and all this stuff. Um, uh, but I left it there. It's not.
You
It's
left
not
it.
the point.
Okay, so the reason that's a very good point. Thank you for mentioning that because I've been so like really focused on this conversation. Let me kind of direct myself to all the viewers and listeners that yes, I do strongly encourage you to connect with the program notes on our blog at blog.bevirtual.com. Look for the podcast section, and then you'll find them in the post from this episode, which is season 6, episode 3. So, okay. So moving on, well,
Yeah,
maybe you
there's
can
a
tell us what did you leave there?
well, there's
That
a,
might
there,
interest a lot of people.
well, there's a lot of stuff there to help you, dealing with what we're talking about here, the stress and detox, especially when it comes to topics like marketing automation, gamification, e-commerce, and more. Yeah.
Sounds good. Well, look, I could talk an hour about this, but we have to start our soft landing here. But this is a point where I say, well, maybe we should talk a bit about your company. You're the country director for Iberia, which is Spain and Portugal. At Actito, you're part of the Quantum Group, and the focus of this podcast for the last 6 years has been on European marketing and innovation. And so, Quantum Group, I would say, this is my personal opinion, is an example of European innovation coming right out of Scandinavia. And I was just in preparation for our chat. I was looking at the customers that you have, beginning with, Paribas in Paris, the bank, Deutsche Bank in Germany, the Belgian Red Cross, Tulip, which is a 100-year brand in Denmark, Jack and Jones, on and on and on, different areas, different countries, different brands that are very well known.
That's right. A number of others. That's right.
Well, we're this kind of like a Pixar film. We're talking about monsters. Let me talking about another monster, stress monsters. If we're all stressed, we don't need a boring podcast, do we? So let me say from my experience, because in Barcelona Virtual, we've worked with Martech since 2017. I've seen a lot of so-called Franken clouds. I don't know if you've ever heard this term, but these are creations that are like a mega suite with a lot of branding, bells and whistles, but in reality, they're cobbled together, kind of sewn together to form a non-organic Martech. And the problem with this that I see, and I've seen it happen with clients or for ourselves for internal use, that sometimes an ear falls off of the Franken cloud, or a hand is missing suddenly, or you find out you need extra surgery. Does that sound familiar to you?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, that's right. I mean, this is definitely a common problem that many marketeers are going through. Probably they're. I mean, the main point of all this is that probably they're paying or they're uh, paying for things that actually they don't need, for
True
features
too.
that they don't need.
Uh,
So so
Absolutely.
so that's another way of putting stress on you, because you don't need all that today. Maybe you need it tomorrow, but not today. But you're paying for that, and that's another way to put a stress on you. Definitely.
That makes me think because that's another thing that does cause stress, and it really pisses me off if I can say that. It really bothers me when I think that I'm paying more for something that I really don't have time to get to, or I don't understand it, or I don't need it. But so as I understand it, in like the ecosystem of quantum, you somebody might begin with something like marketing automation, personalized marketing with email and in other ways, time optimized using Actito. And if we're talking about freedom and you decide your picture from before, you decide maybe then we could scale up to things like personal e-commerce recommendations, first party data capture, maybe using gamification promos and games. Is that why you called it you decide before? Because it would be more elegant than a Franken cloud, and it would be more like what you mentioned, curated best of breed. It would be more like a curated selection, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I could just say it better. I'm gonna hire you if you if you let me, because you have explained perfectly what we are up to, and what we do. So yeah, that's absolutely like that.
Boy, this has been so refreshing. I mean, I think you have de-stressed us, Pablo. I think it's been a real help for stressed marketers.
Okay, it's been great. Thank you, Paul. Super fun. Thanks for inviting me. Really, thank you.
But I do have to disappoint you because if you want to hire me, you can't. You can't hire me because I'm already taken. I have my own company. It's my daughter, like many entrepreneurs who joined us from all around the world, from around the globe, and you know how that goes. But still, you've made me, and I think all of us think the idea would be scale down stress and ramp up results. So very cool, very cool. I've loved this chat. Any final message for our global audience?
Well, I would summarize the whole thing in probably a couple of things. I would say focus, know what you want. I mean, this is
Focus.
absolutely key. Yes. Try to, cut out irrelevant stuff. No noise. There's a lot of things going
Mhm.
on. No noise. Cut the relevant stuff. Stay where you are going to. And to me, probably the most important one is start small and grow big.
Okay.
Eventually, you decide. It's on you. You decide.
You decide. I love that. That's a perfect way to end. Don't stress. You decide. Breathe. I won't say because it's not very businesslike, but I just say ah.